Hey everybody, welcome. We are going to jump into a best of 3 Throne of Eldraine draft today. We did one yesterday and had pretty good success. We went 5-1. I really enjoyed the reminder of how nice it is to be able to sideboard, how nice it is to be able to lose the first game and still have a chance to come back and win the match. That was really nice. One of my big takeaways from the event yesterday, though, was, man, protection. Like, I had the pro-white Archon flyer and was playing against another blue-white deck that had one white flyer and one blue flyer, and we had a couple of the Squire adventure combat tricks. Oh my god, I've been playing this game for 25 years, and I was misplaying protection every turn on some new axis, right? Like, at first I was trying to cast I was planning to cast white pump spells on my pro-white creature, and then I finally figured that out and got that in my head. Spent the next 5 minutes telling people in chat, no, we can't target our pro-white creature with our white combat tricks. And while I was busy telling people in chat, no, we can't target our pro-white creature with our white combat tricks, I was failing to attack into a white creature because I didn't want to trade with it, or what, you know, like, so I would mess up one axis of the protection, finally get that locked in my head, mess up another axis of protection, and I was punting on protection strategy all game long, and it really drove home to me what a poor choice it has been to bring back protection. And it wasn't just me, everybody in chat, it was just a punt fest. Like, everybody suggesting things that were wrong, incorrect, poor, not thought out, like, just everybody. It was like universal, and that can't be good, Wizards, you know, like, and here's also what I realized. The way I was playing it in my head that was leading to the screw up is that in my head I was playing it as hexproof from white. I was playing it successfully as hexproof from white. Every other aspect I was messing up. So again, I don't know why they don't just do hexproof from, given that that's where my brain was working from anyway. Anyway, it's a very confusing, difficult mechanic, and I think yesterday proved that. And if you want to avoid confusing and difficult situations when you're buying Magic stuff, you should really consider putting Card Kingdom on your list, because their website is not confusing. You understand everything that's happening when you're interacting with Card Kingdom. You're getting what you want. You're getting it at a great price. And they stand by their product. They stand by their services. Their customer support is second to none. And I just love the reliability of Card Kingdom. And if you want to check them out via my affiliate link down below in the panels, you know that helps me. And you all want to help me, right? So even if you're just clicking on the link to go see the site, that helps a lot. But if you ever are buying and you find that Card Kingdom has the best price, best value for you, you can buy from my affiliate link, and that really helps my stream. So please keep that in mind. They're supporting me. You can help me by supporting them through my link. All right. Let's go in now, though. Who else is here? Hey, Nick, what's up? We have a Yorvo we could grab. We have 4 of them. It would be a gem pick. Keeper of Fables, probably actually a better green, a better heavy green first pick than Yorvo, but Yorvo's worth gems, so there's that. There's Bacon to a Pie, of course. We love ourselves removal. We've drafted green-white adventure 3 times in a row now, and Tactician is up there as well. I'm willing to take Yorvo on the gem spec here. Bacon to a Pie, if I am on the Pro Tour, is probably where I just start. Safe place to start. Also, it's the only black card in the pack, so I like that a lot on Arena. So if you weren't worrying about rares and gems, I think take Bacon to a Pie and try and cut black and get paid off there. But we're going to take Yorvo and really not marry this dude, okay? Yorvo really wants to be mono / heavy green, and it's a pretty big ask. But I am going to take it for the gem factor. Well, I think if I were to rank these in just, again, Pro Tour picks, it would go Bacon to a Pie, Keeper of Fables, and then actually maybe Tactician, and then Yorvo. I just think the 3 green on Yorvo is that oppressive, but we will we'll grab him. And hey, we could end up mono green. I just don't want to. I don't want to get in that mindset like we're taking this and therefore we want to look to mono green. No, we're taking this because it's worth gems, and we're going to try and see what the bots are telling us to do. If they tell us to be heavy green, awesome. Oh, this is an interesting pick. Epic Downfall, straight up awesome removal. Sir Kara, I can't remember how we've decided to pronounce Carah. I just see it and want to go Kara, but I don't know how to pronounce this one. But anyway, powerful card. Charmed Sleep, good removal in blue. Witching Well might come back around. Fierce Witchstalk. This is just a loaded pack, right? Like, Eye Collector isn't particularly playable, and All That Glitters is very narrow and belongs in a very specific deck. Everything else here is playable to great. This is quite a pack. Let's pull this one because of that. And the thing is, let's see, it's going to be Epic for sure is one of the options. SYR for the Knight. We're not going to take Fairy Guide Mother because it probably wheels, but I'll put a Charmed Sleep. I'll put Sleep on the list, which I don't think will be the pick because it's just, in fact, I'm going to take it off. Like, if we want to take a removal spell, let's take Epic Downfall. But we can consider the Witch. I'll do Fierce because the Witch Stalker is. Oh, sorry, Cardboard Live is not on. Let me turn that on. I had to restart my computer. Wow, where is? I thought it was pinned. It doesn't even look like it's pinned. Give it a second. Anyway, sorry. So we'll do, again, same reasoning. Dragonfire is great. Charm Sleep is great. But if we're going to take removal, we're going to take Epic Downfall. So it's going to be between the green creature and the red and black card. And you tell me what you think we should be doing here. Pin. All right, hopefully Cardboard Live is working for you now. A little bit of support for the Knight, but mostly people are split between the Downfall and the Solid Creature. I can follow chat down on this one. I think Witchstalker actually got more votes than I expected. I think that's your vote talking. I think if we didn't have this, we would just be snapping up the Epic Downfall. Not that I said we shouldn't marry Yorvo, but you can also, I mean, it's totally fair to remember that he's there when considering your picks, but I think we go Epic Downfall. Stay open here and figure out what the bots are really telling us to do before we settle into anything. And we can take Scaldron here on the flexibility premise, but we have Epic Downfall. We could just get Foreboding Fruit, or we could say Sage of the Falls is probably the best card in the pack, and just again take the best card. Maybe we bail on Yorvo and end up blue-black control. I think I like staying on the best card train, as Razor suggests, and I think that's probably Sage. Cauldron is good. And it's definitely open. There's no question it stays open, but Sage is really good. Oh yeah, Silent Dart, a lot worse. But I'm going to take Sage. It's true, it makes the deck, but it's not as powerful. This is an engine. If we end up in a deck that wants this, it's going to be one of the most important cards in our deck. Giant Opportunity is knocking, but I'm going to ignore that. We could add red to the mix, add a Grumgully, and continue to try and figure out where we're going. Although I don't feel like Grumgully and Yorvo are really a good pairing. This is a pretty weak pack. Noble is a fine 2-drop. Dwarves can get going. Rider can... These are kind of whatever green creatures, but they're both playable. I guess we can take Grumgully because there's nothing much else going on here, but we are pretty scattered. I kind of just want the Noble. But looks like a lot of support for Grumgully in... yeah, Dummy, I'm not that interested in staying open, really. Like, to me, taking Grumgully is also staying open. Even though it's creating a rainbow over here, that's the openness that we're talking about. We're saying we could be any of these, right? So I don't like necessarily taking artifacts just to stay open. I like taking the best cards and staying open. So, yeah, we'll take Grumgully. But we need to start finding a direction here, looking for some clues from the bots. Here we have another Scaldron, a nice egg. We're best of 3, so Fell is relevant, Flutterfox is relevant, but I think now we just take Scaldron. I take the Fox and add the 5th color, have full Wooburg in our first 5 picks. Ferocity is a clue to go green-red. I don't like this card enough, but I hear what you're saying. Grumgully and, you know, these two are definitely non-humans. I think I'm just taking Cauldron here. This is where I'm going to take the Scaldron and stay open. There's also suggestions for Egg. Why Egg over Cauldron? Yeah, I think Cauldron is the better colorless card here for our situation, so we'll grab it. Give us a clue, bots. Okay, well, that's kind of a clue. You can take an Innkeeper or a Revenge. Witching Well doesn't suck either. I will pull this one because I think it's pretty clear that we're looking at a Revenge or INN. And I'll put the Well in for good measure, but I don't think it's the Well. Landslide. All right. I'm not even going to wait for the voting to finish. Here we have a once and future. That goes well with what we're doing here also. Pretty easy once and future. No, 15-0. You all have spoken for sure. All right, so now we don't have any white yet, but we could start with a Guide Mother on 8. We probably wheel the other one. There was another Guide Mother that we passed. And it starts to put us towards green-white adventure again, which I'm not trying. I don't think Squire is good enough here to take. If we're heading down a path that cares about the Innkeeper, then I think we're on Swordmaster or Guide Mother. We have an Epic Downfall. But I think white tends to just be more open. So I'm going to take Guide Mother here. I don't blame you for Swordmaster, but we stayed open for a reason. Let's take Guide Mother and see where it goes from here. Now we have a Cottage, Fell the Pheasant, or a Ginger Brute. Well, Ginger Brute I like in green decks because there's a lot of tools in green to permanently buff this. Maybe not a lot. Maybe I'm just thinking really of the Tree Folk, but I really like the Tree Folk Ginger Brute combination. Drawbridge has impressed Nantuko. I'm mixed on it. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. We could just take the Fell. No, I don't think we have nothing in the board. How many of these do we want? We would take a lot for yeah, Ginger Brute finishes games, but Fell comes in out of the board as B+ A- level removal. That ain't nothing. It's just, for me, it's Ginger Brute or Fell. And I'm gonna take the Brute here, but not love it. Witching Well, Tempting Witch. Maybe we're supposed to come back in towards black. I mean, Well, I think it's not super easy that it's Witch because Forever Young is here. Well, we hope to. If we don't have enough creatures for Forever Young by the end of the draft, we did something horribly wrong. I mean, I do expect us to draft creatures from here, and yeah, mono green only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in it right now. 5 is not a lot for pack 1, pick 10. Yeah, if we end up green-black food, we'll like the Witch. It's close. All right, I'll go Witch, but I think that's super close. Take the cabin. We want to be heavy green. None of these really matter. I'll take the cow, though. I suppose I could have taken the dwarf. We could still end up in red. Well, same pick again. This time we're going to go with the pheasant. First pheasant over second brute. Here's the second brute. Well, we have... oh, also note the other guide mother didn't wheel. Feels like we're maybe not in white after all, but we could take Savvy Hunter and be the green-black food deck. I'm just catching up on chat here, sorry. I think it's obvious Hunter. I'm just looking at chat. There's another Once in Future. We have a Rampart Smasher. Probably wheel the Once in Future. We could take the Smasher and really try and just be heavy, 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 heavy green. I mean, there's not much else here for us, right? So I guess we just take the Smasher and try and really be heavy green in this one after all. That means the Witch Stalker jumps out at me here over Trapped in a Tower or the adventure stuff. Don't really have much support for the Innkeeper yet, but at least we have a direction that's clearing up. What do we got here? Forever Young. Probably just Transformation, though, or Tree Folk. Ben, are you getting results oriented on me? We didn't know where we were at the time. Come on now. None of that. If nothing but nonstop Great Blue had rattled off after the Sage, would you be still talking about how we should have not taken the Sage? I mean, come on. Although we will cut it here. No need to even continue looking at it. Transformation or Tree Folk? What do we like? Is there an argument for Joust? Not really. I don't think we're... I mean, we have Grumgully, but honestly, I think I would look at the deck more like this right now. And we're not really red at all. And red is good in a heavy knight deck, but we're not red and we're not knights. So really, it's just Transformation or Tree Folk. I think we can wheel a Tree Folk, so I'm going to take Transformation. Paladin is more appealing to me than Carver in the context of heavy green, even though we have Innkeeper that likes the Carver. I want to take the Paladin. We're just trying to get big. Get big early. Flaxen Intruder. Don't think it does it for us. We should take a Return to Nature or something we might splash. Fry wants Intruder. Why do you like... Why the Intruder's not good. Like, you know, this is not a good card, and having an Innkeeper doesn't make this good enough to play. Sorry, we're best of 3 here. Let me adjust the win-loss, and then everything will be correct. Yeah, we might end up solid green. We might not even play the downfall. But with the hunter and the downfall, I think we want a touch of black, at least. Yeah, I don't think this is the pick. We're going to take Return to Nature for the board. Well, in the heavy green camp, we still have the Ranger. There's also another transformation and a Carver. Do you like Carver or Ranger? We could still be green-red if... But I'm not sure what would have to come my way to actually get me back into red. I'm going to see what people think of Carver versus Ranger here. Quick 15-second Carver, Ranger. I'll even give a Elk. For if you want like the transformation, I'll throw that in there. We're not doing too much with the whole go wide, which is a problem here. Close. Very close. Fuzzbuzz in with the Elk vote late. I think with where we're at, we're going to be happier with Carver. I think I like the combat trick over making a couple humans and then gradually starting to pump. Like, this has been okay in the green-white aggro decks that we've been drafting the last few times, but I think in this case, we're more get big and get through. So I'm going to go with the Carver. I don't think making a couple of tokens and giving +1/+1 to our... Like... +1/+1 to all of your creatures, its power level is relative to the relative size of your creatures. So if you're playing a bunch of 1/1s, doubling their power is pretty amazing. If you're playing a bunch of 5/5s, adding 20% to their power isn't that big a deal. So I'm going to go with Carver. Hengewalker or Squire. Hengewalker is pretty reliable 3/3 for us, but looks like we don't have anything going on at 2, really. But not much going on at 3 either, honestly. So I don't mind a Walker here. Yeah, we need 2s and 3s. And I think this is a better 3 than this is a 2. So I'm going to go with the Walker. Outflank just in case we get pulled back into white somehow. I mean, we have just very light touches in other colors here. Here's another Walker. We can get a Beanstalk for the board. I do like a Beanstalk in the board, as we've seen over the last couple of days, but I think we'll just take another Walker. Another Walker. This kind of really wraps up our 3s. If I knew we were going to get 3 Walkers in a row, I would take the Squire maybe, but... I was really not trying to just go into mono green because of Yorvo, but we've really kind of been pushed there. I think they're mediocre red getting past. That's the thing. Fry is like, the red is insane. I'm like, the red is mediocre. That's why, like, that's why it's kind of the lowest on the totem pole of colors right now. That its good stuff isn't that good. Here we'll take, I guess if there's any chance, we're never going to play a white spell like that, but we'll put an Insatiable Appetite in. Definitely like, in this format, would much rather have our combat tricks in the form of adventure creatures, but you can play an Insatiable Appetite here and there. Circle of Loyalty is a great reason to be white. Where are we at? We got 2 of 4 there. We got 2 mythic rares. We could take this and craft up to 4. And what are we giving up to do that and out muscle? Yeah, out muscle is great, but this is the free-to-play account. We're trying to 4x. I'm going to take Circle of Loyalty. Take the Mythic. We'll take this one, though. Slaying Fire leaps out, but this is a clear out muscle. Deathless is solid here. Pretty easy. Mono green style card. Bacon to a Pie is the first thing that's had 2 non-green mana symbols on it that has actually tempted me. Yeah, I think we just take Oathsworn for gems because I don't know if we actually want Bacon to a Pie in this deck. I do think we want to be trying to Yorvo on 3 here. So yeah, we'll gem it up. Yeah, I would craft 4 Oko if you don't have 4 Oko yet, because I think it's going to be banned on Monday. It's a gamble, though. It's possible that they solve Oko power problems by doing something like banning Once Upon a Time and the Goose, for example. You know, you could ban those 2, and Oko suddenly becomes a more manageable card. So there's no guarantee that you're going to get your return if you do that, but I would recommend it. Stratix, like, how do you like green black? I used to love it. Now it has fallen off quite a bit in the recent times since the bot updates. But yeah, Nissa could be another ban. Luis talking up this equipment. It's all right, but we don't want it here. This is just a Carver pick. Sorry, I was talking about other stuff. We're now getting pretty stacked. I mean, we can look at this as a combat trick, but we want 2s. We got to keep 2s in mind. So here's a 2 we can pick up. So that's really nice, actually. Happily take this Marrowleaf Rider. Exactly what we need. We're not playing anything here. We'll take another Pheasant for the board. Here's yet another Pheasant, but here I think we just want the Wildwood Tracker. Let's make sure we're on track with it, though. Ginger Brutes trigger it. Innkeeper doesn't. Rider does. Again, we're low on action down here, so let's take it. Yeah, and I don't think we're late in pack 3. We're going to just be suffering pretty heavily in our early game. I don't think we ended up getting the early stuff we needed. But maybe we'll get a run here of stuff we need. Well, yet another Hengewalker, but I like it over a Barrow Witches, so we'll take it. I don't think we're playing this. In fact, I know we're not. I'm going to take a Knocker for the Vault Progress. Do we need Weapon Rack for playables? I don't think we're playing Cottage, so I'll take the Rack just in case. We're not playing that Scarecrow. Roving Keep, also not going to play it. Maybe we'll bring in Memory Theft out of the board on some weird occasion. Same with Tall. Yeah, this deck is not great. I'm going to go craft up our... what was that called? I don't remember what it's called now. Should have looked it up. It's Mythic Rare Throne, and it's white. Here it is. Yeah, Tall is good against green-red. Yeah, I don't think we screwed up the drafting there as much as just didn't get there, but on certain spots in our curve. We'll see what we can do with it, though. I'm basically okay with how we drafted. $60 on the grind, also not the worst. Well, let's take a look. Gosh, only 2 cuts. Well, must not have had the rares filled up on one of those rare picks. Yeah, cut the outflank. Oh, Stratic's like black is the weakest color. I don't know about that. What are we voting on? Is this rare poll? I mean, sorry, par poll? Well, I like half measures in the best of 3, but whatever. Oh yeah, let's cut the witch and really just leave it as Savvy Hunter and Epic Downfall. And drop swamp count to like 4. 12-5, 13-4. I suppose we can go 12-5. Yeah, we didn't even get a Tree Folk, right? It's not great. I thought we were going to wheel a Tree Folk, and we totally didn't. Really wanted a Tree Folk in this deck. I'm nervous about going to 5 simply because we want Yorvo on 3. We really want Yorvo on 3, and if just one of our forced lands in our first 3 plays is a swamp, then we can't play Yorvo on 3. At what point do you think white-green is better? Well, what is white offering us here? Circle of Loyalty, Guide Mother, and Outflank. I don't think we want to play a white-white spell. So I'm not sure. I don't see how Outflank and Guide Mother are in any way better for us than Downfall and Hunter. Innkeeper is pretty darn weak here, but what are you going to play over it? We can go 18 land. We can play the Weapon Rack. Main decker Return to Nature. Let's look at our numbers too. 17-6. I want Yorvo on 3 more than I want Hunter on 3. Yeah, I don't think the Innkeeper is particularly playable here. Like, what are we doing with it? We're getting a card off of a couple of Carvers. Literally, that's it. That seems too weak to me when we do have reasonable replacements. So I'm going to go with a main deck Return or Fell. It's true. But if they don't have removal, if this doesn't actually act as a lightning rod, then it sits there as a 1/1 for 1. Yeah, we could put the witch back in as a way to kind of get some reach at the end of things, but I kind of like just running main deck Fell or main deck Return. Yeah, triggering Yorvo, though, is not a reason to play a 1/1 for 1. And I understand why y'all won't Return, but again, we have 1 out Muscle, and beyond that, literally 1 out Muscle and 1 Scaldron and an Epic Downfall are our only means to control flying. I guess a transformation can bring something down to Earth. Well, here, let me let's pull this and then get going. So we have some suggestions of Fell, Return, Rack, and Witch. But I really don't think the answer is Innkeeper, so it's got to be one of these. A lot of support for return. I was kind of on the fell plan, but I'll put in a return. I'll go with chat on this one. I think you're generally going to find a target every time for return and not necessarily for fell. So we can bring the double fell in when we see flyers, and that's fine. Yeah, I think this deck is not great. I think the problem is we are relying on curving out aggressively. And if the game goes long and stalls, or if they have flyers, I don't know what we're doing exactly to get through here. But we're going to do what we can. And final question, I guess, is 4 swamps versus 5. It's like Hunter versus Yorvo is really the consideration for me. You know, what do we want to be able to be sure be more likely to be able to do on 3, cast Yorvo or Hunter? And I think I'm going to lean towards Yorvo here and keep it at 4. Yeah, we also, that's true. We got a million Hengewalkers that we also want on 3, so good point. All right, I like it. We'll go with 4. Nice. I like the. I'll keep it with Stonehenge for now, but I'll keep Impossible Burger in mind for future green beef decks. Very well played. All right. Don't love the old 5-land start, but we do have an active cabin already, and we have our turn 3 Hunter or Yorvo, so we're going to keep this and lead with forests in case we do draw Yorvo. Yeah, Nantuko makes a good point that this deck would be much better in pod, where we are facing people who drafted from the same packs, because I think our packs were overall pretty weak. Yeah, I could have gotten a Halberd at some point on the line that might have helped, especially with those Ginger Brutes. Really just like that we have 2 Ginger Brutes and no real way to pump them. Well, that's a bit of a problem, but at least we have this Carver that'll help us. Let's see, they're going to put 2 points of power, but this makes a 5/5. So yeah, Hunter plus Carver gets around that Knight. But we're going to be on the attack here. Oh, and also, let me see, are we, yep, we're in the right place. Our creature count was like 16, 17 the last time I checked. We may have cut one at the end, but we're above 15, I think. Not the worst if they're spending the whole turn doing that. Unfortunately, we can't Epic Downfall them. Okay, well, they're staying on D, so that's good. We're going to Telegraph, but we're going to Telegraph and make them have it. Or make them decide what they want to do. Could draw a card here, but I already know what I want to do, so I'm going to start with the attack, actually. Now, if they have Outflank, they get us, because they get 1 point from Outflank plus 4 from the Youthful Knight. But I don't. I mean, we are where we are. We're gonna go for it. All right. Now I will draw a card in case we have a 3-drop we want to play. Although if it's, watch us draw the Hengewalker. Dionysus, what did I tell you yesterday? If you tell me what I told you yesterday, then I'll answer that question. But if you don't know what I said yesterday, then you're not listening to me, and that annoys me, because I don't like answering your question again and again. Paladin is tough to get through. It's going to be a pretty big boy, but we can just epic downfall it. Oh, this is a sorcery. He's like, why can't we? The Brute. Well, I think we just epic downfall here. And we have no other black cards even. I guess we do this. Downfall the Pally. And I could draw a card, but I'm perfectly happy with the Witch. Oh, I should have drawn a card. We might have had Yorvo off the top, and we'd rather play Yorvo ahead of Witch Stalker. So I think I probably should have drawn there, but now it doesn't matter since we have no mana anyway. Well, it's a big fox. We no longer have the ability to pump the hunter to survive that, but let's draw a card. Paladin. All right, we like the Paladin. We'll go ahead and offer the Witch Stalker for the Fox. We can even offer the Hunter for the Fox at this point. I wouldn't even hate that. Like, Hunter's done, and we could rebuy it even. So yeah, let's offer both, and then rebuy as needed. We can play the Brute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we play and activate, we can't cast Paladin. But it would be interesting to just play the Brute and attack and offer it as part of the attacks. If they block the Brute, we can sack it and the food for a card. So I think I'm going to go with the Brute. And if they want to block the Brute, go for it. We have a card draw response. And that's the block I really expected, because Hunter's kind of going nuts on him. We'll draw another card here. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for that. I'm trying to submit... Oh, decline. Okay. Oh, and you can go once in future. We go Hengewar. Let's just play the Carver. Use all of our mana here. And looks like I had a land play, and we could have made the Brute unblockable if we wanted. Kind of changes a little bit of how I would have... I thought we were... I had us on one fewer mana than we actually had, which could have changed some of our decisions there. All right. White, black. We saw several artifacts. What else did we see? Didn't see any flyers at the moment. You can kind of assume they're in there with the white contingent, but I don't know. I think we have a Return to Nature in already. Yeah, Fox was up there. Seems like they were mostly on the ground, though, right? Keep the Return to Nature in and destroy their artifact and bring the Fox down to Earth. I'm not going to risk at all in this situation. They're playing white-black, and we can presume they have some removal. And the removal that white and black has is all 2-for-1-y against something like Tall as a Beanstalk. I'm basically only bringing this in against mono green, mono red, and red green. I just think against blue, white, and black, it's way too risky. Yeah, they might have a prize griffin. Not every, I've played a white deck the last 3 drafts before this. Only one of them had a griffin. It's not like everything does that, but we're pretty low on quality, so we could at the low end of our decks, we could easily bring in a fell and cut something. Like we cut a Henge Walker. Here's our current numbers: 16-8. I don't think we can cut any of these though. I think Griffin is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, we could get rid of one of the brutes. They're pretty underwhelming in the deck. I'm down with that. All right, let's do that. Ooh, this doesn't do much early. But I'm also not feeling inclined to ship it. Although we could get run over. Oppo going first. They're playing some aggro white. Maybe this isn't good enough to keep. Curious. I'll do a quick 10-second keep or mole. Curious where people are on this one. Most people on the mole plan. That's where I was at, especially against the deck we're up against. We're up against a deck that showed some early aggro on the play. Yes, I've looked at. I haven't checked it in the last couple days, but I did over the weekend. Okay, we keep this, but we have an interesting choice on what we're pitching, because what leaps out, of course, is a forest, but we have a Henge Walker that really wants a 3rd forest. However, I really like having access to our black. I'm inclined to pitch a forest and gamble on Henge Walker, finding another one before Henge Walker. So, yeah, I'm going to ditch a forest. It's the greediest play, so no surprise that I'm doing it. It's not that big a gamble. Truly worst case, we feel like we have to play a 2-2 for 3. More likely, we decide to play something else and drop a Witch Stalker on 4. Nah, keeping a swamp, pitching a forest is the greediest because it means we want it all. I want to try and get the Henge Walker on 3. I want my splash card, and I want to find a 4th land for the Witch Stalker, you know? We have 2 black cards in the deck, yes. But if we happen to draw that Hunter, I sure want to play it. All right, you're all starting to laugh at me, but here comes the forest. Question is, if we don't get the forest, are we playing a Henge Walker? I don't know. Maybe with that we are. Who called Yorvo? Nice, Kruzika. Very nice. All right, the greed didn't pay off this time. I am going to play a Hengewalker and just look to offer a 1-for-1 here. Not punished to the extreme. We'll get there. Oppo cycling, looking for land, probably. We'll offer this trade. How good is Yorvo? Very good, like on 3, mind you. Hey, see, so we got the Hunter. See what I'm talking about? There you go. Punished, unpunished. And super unpunished. We get this now. Let's attack with Hunter so that we can respond with the Scaldron if they do something like outflank the Hunter to try and eat it. Yeah, Return to Nature is another option. It's a very reactive card that's not certain to have targets, but when you do have targets, it's so good. Like I said, I think pitching a forest was max greed. Maximum greed. Now, if Yorvo can survive, we're in great shape. Oppo doing something to recover from the mulligan there, or from the double mull they had. Oh man, we even get extra food. And we'll Witchstalker up front so that Yorvo gets his due. This is our deck doing what it's supposed to, right? Like, that all felt solid and great, and we kind of romped on a double mulligan there. So, I mean, we mulligan once, so it's not like it was a total blowout on the mulligan front. But really, like, when that happens, the problem is if we're not on the front foot, if we're not applying the pressure, then this deck can really be in trouble, I think. But we got there on that one. Funny. Well, we'll keep this and hope for turn 3 Yorvo into Savvy Hunter and Witchstalker. Come on, third forest. All right, looking good. Well, if it's mono green versus mono green, I sure like my chances on a turn 3 Yorvo. They can have something like Pump Spell, though. One thing Oppo could do here is force Yorvo to block with the food and then pump the rider. That would be sad, but they'd have to use a couple of resources to do that, and then hopefully we can recover with the stuff we've got in hand. But Yorvo not guaranteed to survive this turn for sure. The fact that they are... I think this feels like a bluff, because if they had the tools to take out Yorvo, in terms of combat tricks, you'd think they would force the issue with the rider, but yeah, but if it's insatiable appetite, why wouldn't they force the block? Like, I'm not going to block because it is too risky, but I just don't understand why, if they had it, why they wouldn't just force it. Well, now we're going to have to insatiable appetite ourselves. Can't really do it all here. I guess we can play this. Yeah, maybe they didn't want to do that play because they wanted to giant. Can we take a hit from a 7/7 to get the Witch Stalker down? I think so. Yeah, we're going to Witch Stalker. This will give us some food. The Hunter hopefully eventually gives us some food. And now we'll see what they want to do in terms of the Rider and Curious pair. All right, so yeah, I think it was just a bluff. I think my read was correct. They really didn't have anything, and we're just presuming I couldn't bring myself to block with Yorvo. But if they had anything, they would just force the issue with the Rider, I think. Anyway, yeah, we'll get him with Appetite next turn. No block this. Now we can Savvy Hunter and have the Appetite up with food, so that's nice. Again, you all aren't... I'm saying this giant wouldn't be as important to me as just taking out Yorvo, but... maybe they're thinking about this game differently than I am. That's always possible. Let's see. If we now beat... like, with the use of food, any of these beats the 7/7. And Yorvo can attack. I'm going to attack with Yorvo as the bottom line. Well, I guess we'll find out, too, because they do have blocks to take out Yorvo if they did. Maybe it's greedy to attack, or pretty aggressive to do it at 8 life, but I'm presuming that this is going to work in terms of... Well, the Witch's Oven is interesting, because now they can get food and kind of force the Rider action. If they sack the Spider, they can just win. I guess we're at a virtual 11, so I guess they can't just win. But we'll see what they do here. And let's start with the double block and see if we can tease anything out from them. Everybody's sure they have insatiable appetite. I'm not certain. Maybe. They've played this game pretty weirdly, so I'm just not sure. We get the same thing, though, and... oh, but they only get the 3/3 here because of that, right? So we can get the 5/5. They're at 10. Well, we're going to do it. Oops, sorry. Do this. Doesn't really matter. We're losing the hunter no matter what here. And given that we're losing the hunter no matter what, I don't think it's worth going for the extra 2. Let's see, we get 5. No, oh, yeah, we have to in order to kill it, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, yeah, we have to. Not yet, D. I've been in full-on mode outside of streaming other things, which is my message to you about... This is why you got timed out, D. Keep asking questions that I have answered. I am wildly busy off-stream with non-magic stuff, or non... Yeah, we can kill the oven now. It's all good. A lot of my friends call me Rye. A lot of my friends call me Ryan. Rye is fine. Well, we can kill the oven. I mean, they're down to 1 card. I suppose we should. Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar. Thank you, Valhalla. Brian is my first subscriber. I remember that. The first sub I ever had was Valhalla's Chosen, and he's back for the 11th month in a row. Closing in on my anniversary of streaming. I did not, D. It's going to take me all week. That's the thing. So, we send in all this. They can take the Stalker out, but at a pretty big cost. Like, we can trade Stalker for Rider here. Or not, is the real question. I guess we're at 8. I'm going to leave the Stalker back as a blocker in a place where we're kind of racing a bit anyway. So I'm going to leave Witch Stalker back to scare off the possible attackers. Flooding a little bit here. We'd like to find some extra action to close this out. I'm going to do the same play, though. Yeah, that's true. They also just have the easy block. For some reason, I was thinking, in my head, when I targeted the Witch's Oven, Oppo was going to sack the spider to get extra food, but they didn't do that. So, yeah, totally. The Witch Stalker doesn't make sense to attack with anyway. You're right. Fry. What do you mean, non-bow Fenor? It made him scoop. Look, in every mono deck, a few Henge Walkers must live. All right, so we're up against, it's the mono green mirror. Well, there, now it's a few. What's the I think the American English definition of a few is 3 or 4. So I think this qualifies as a few. We can put in tall as a beanstalk against let's get bigger than they are. And we could cut a ginger brute. That's what we did last time, although ginger brute plus beanstalk is actually a reasonable combo, such that maybe we want to take something else out here. Return to Nature really didn't do that much. They had an oven, but... Help me with a cut. What are we cutting here? I think we do want tall. I guess we cut a return. We could cut one of the Henge Walkers. I actually like the brutes now that we are going to play a beanstalk. That's a real plan. Let's cut return and see if they show us anything else for that. If we go to game 3 and artifacts and enchantments clearly are part of their plan, then we can do that. Ooh. Only have 4 swamps in the deck, and we got 2 of them here. That stinks with the Yorvo, but we're going to keep this. Yeah, return killed the oven, but the oven wasn't that important. What do you do for money? What do you do for money, Dionysus? And what does your local government expect out of you, given that you're making money? No, Dionysus is... who is it? It's hard to say who is anybody on the internet, but again, one of the reasons I tolerate Dionysus's strangeness and persistence is that I do believe in his earnestness. I believe he is an earnest individual expressing the things he's passionate about, and I can get behind that. But I do believe that, as he says, Dionysus is a middle-aged guy from the Netherlands. Oppo just giving it up. I don't know what's going on, but sure happy to get a forest for our turn 3 Yorvo again. But my point in asking that question, Dionysus, is put yourself in my shoes. I'm running a small business here in which I take in some income from various different sources, and running a small business requires a bunch of boring corporate-ish stuff. Looks like Oppo is, I don't know. Yes, Going Optimal is an LLC. What is my side business? I mean, this and revenue from streaming and revenue from secondary market. I also have a bunch to do on the secondary market side. I've been buying collections faster than I've been selling them, and that's a problem. I mean, I have good inventory, but I need to move my inventory. Nah, it's not hard to make an LLC. You just gotta go to your state website and look it up and follow the leads. All right, we could Epic Downfall that, but no need. We're just going to drop Witch Stalker, and Yorvo is immediately big enough. Looks like our Oppo got pulled away or something, like they gave up on a couple of turns, but then... What's my business doing? I don't know what that question means, D. My business is generating some revenue through Twitch revenue, YouTube revenue, and sponsorship revenue, and article revenue, and then secondary market is somewhat self-explanatory, I would think. It's for everything. No matter what, I need to report to the government my goings on. We could transform Yorvo into an 8/8. That's kind of funny. Nah, again, listen up. I've interacted with Dionysus long enough to feel comfortable with where I'm at with my assessment of where he's at, which is, again, I do believe he is earnest. If I didn't believe... If I like... The difference between Dionysus and a troll is that the troll is just looking to sow chaos, where Dionysus actually cares about what he's asking about. He actually wants answers, whereas a troll just wants chaos, right? Yeah, we can downfall the spider here. I'm in. Let's do that. Makes our Witch Stalker get through. I didn't need to show him this. I'm just kind of playing to the F6 here, but should have just waited till after combat to play that creature. Slight suboptimal, but I just didn't think they have... Well, it looks like... Well, maybe they have the appetite here. Funny, looks like making Yorvo into an 8/8 was the correct play, but I still like where we're at here. The corporate stuff is just stuff I need to do regularly, and right now I'm in that spot. Transform a Ginger Brute into a 3/3. Dionysus is a curious man. Sometimes to the point of annoyance, but again, I think it's earnest curiosity, not trolling. All right, well, we'll go brute on brute action. Yeah, basically D. We'll take a two for one here. Although running out of action, I actually am going to transform the Ginger Brute here. Draws us a card and makes the Ginger Brute a real threat. Of course, it takes away the ability to make it unblockable, but I'd rather have a blockable 3/3 here than a unblockable 1/1. Stratic wants to wait a turn. I guess we could wait because they're not playing... In my head, I wanted to do it while they're tapped out, but there's nothing really green can do in response. And then if we do find one of our 2s or one of our, Marleaf Rider or whatever, we can cast it literally this turn. So that's why I want to do it now. And I guess we're going to do it with green. No, if I had put Transformation on the Ginger Brute pre-combat, it would have lost haste and would not have been able to attack. All right, can't cast it, but that's nice to see. Hopefully that gets us there from here. Because I have a, I want to be done talking about it now, D. I have a busy week. That's the bottom line. Because I said so. Now shut up. I have a very long to-do list, and reading articles, etc. is going to happen later. That's just where it's at. All right. Sandbagging some land. There's nothing really in our deck that's going to take advantage of huge amounts of land on the battlefield, so let's threaten something here. Got to get him dead before this thing comes online. Hey, that's nice. I'm going to go ahead and Carver our unblocked so that we can apply maximum pressure and get the Carver on board. They're at a virtual 5 with the Ginger Brute, but we have 2 lethal attack. Well, this isn't going to be lethal once we end the turn, so... But I think this is pretty good because they can't drop the Beanstalk Giant this turn. I think that's a bit extreme. Dionysus. I think you have issues with the word busy that I just don't. All right, well, now they get the Smasher, but they do have to give up the Brute or they die, and then we get the Hunter followed. So, yeah, that's all right. Everything here is going to die, and they didn't find a land, so they're not even close to playing the Giant anyway. I don't think that is a good quote, but I actually do see... I know where that quote is coming from. I don't think it's a terrible quote. I think it's oversimplifying to put it that way, to equate busyness with a life out of control, D, but I know what it's saying, like, and I know you're deeply into this philosophy of managing your life, managing that busyness, slow and calm. Slow and calm's not the life I have. It doesn't matter what I would like, D. All right, it's working so far. We got gems with that win, up to 2-0. I'm going to bring the deck list up so you can ponder it for a moment while I take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. Now, I've drunk a lot of coffee, so... I am back. Let us play. Well, threatening a turn 3 Yorvo with 1 more forest yet again, so let's keep this and hope we find one. Oppo has mulliganed. We can even go turn 1 Brute, turn 2 Transformation here. Probably going to do that if nothing else presents itself as a path. Was saying I don't really like these Ginger Brutes in the deck anyway, so might as well turn them into Elks. Uh-oh. All right. Well, yeah, let's transform and probably have to insatiable appetite our way through that beast at some point. Yeah, there's the forest. Keep the forests coming. Keep any land coming, I guess. Yeah, we've gotten some good draws so far, no question. I like Skaldrin and Fiend, like we can't do anything. Let's let them attack into us with the Carver Appetite play available. Also, we didn't drop a land, so it maybe looks like we just stalled a bit. Just nervous about interacting here into all that open mana. But we're going to take the chance. And I'm going to go with Carver. Over Appetite here. All right. That's a big play if we come out of this. All right, that's great. Oh, and we get a Smasher. Smasher indeed. Fenor, I felt like, what were we supposed to do? You know, Fenor, you thought we were going to get blown out, but they're white-green, so all they could do is, like, play Pump of their own. And I guess that would have been rough, but I also don't know how we win against Pump there, so we just have to, sometimes you do stuff that's nerve-wracking and might kill you, you know? Yeah, a lot of Pump in white-green between the adventure creatures and just straight-up actual Pump, right? They look to be... I bet there's some flying in there. We could bring in Fell over the return. If I 100% knew they were holding Carver, then I'd probably just play the +3/+3, right? And then we still win. Or at least trade. Whoa! Oppo had to go, I guess. Profit, I guess. I don't know why y'all say Magic is hard. I guess you find these Oppos in best of 3. Are y'all playing traditional or ranked? Wait a second, we don't have a turn 3 Yorvo set up here. I don't know even what to do about this. All right, we're going to keep, though. We have a Tracker into Ginger Brute, and if we find a Forest, which we're likely to, the Paladin becomes quite nice. And now, we can go ahead and find a turn 3 Yorvo. I'm down with that. Well... Tracker can't even attack into that, unfortunately, but the Ginger Brute can go unblockable here and get in for 1 at least. All right, we'll take the Henge Walker, but prefer Yorvo deck if you want to cooperate. I don't know if Ginger Brute's an all-star, but definitely more playable than we saw at first. But I think at first, I don't know, I'm still where I still like where I landed on Ginger Brute, which is kind of a build-around, but not much more than a build-around in that way. We're going to run out walkers here. Yeah, that's what I mean about build-around. If you're looking to increase the Brute's power, I can get behind him, but just a random Ginger Brute as your finisher or as aggro support doesn't seem optimal to me. Return to nature. Well, here we're gonna get in with the Brute. Note the pause from Oppo. I was gonna say, what's the pause about? All right, that's fine. We're gonna walk. Big boy. We got a big boy coming, though. Another ginger brute. Not where we're at right now. I'm just going to go with the paladin. Really bold attack. If they have a combat trick, I don't know if we can win, so maybe we should play like they don't have it. If they do have it, it's the... What do they have for 2 mana? It could be outflank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Outflank takes out the paladin. If we double, that's not going to do it. We could just put everything we've got on Sir Alan. Let's see if they have... Let's assume outflank, in which case if we go like this and this and this, they outflank the paladin and then eat one of the walkers, and then the other one doesn't get there, so we have to put something on it. I'm going to block like this. This means that Sir Alan even dies to an outflank. So we did what we had to do in the face of the almost certain outflank, but we kind of stabilized with that. So that was a rough thing to take, but it was the correct play. Now our problem, of course, is these flyers. Brute can't get in. How do we win in time? I guess we have a virtual life total that's pretty solid, actually. So let's go. Can't be blocked, and then send in like so. Too youthful knight is the big problem here. We're racing against a clock we can't really beat. Gonna have to find some help. And eat some food. Attack with Witchstalker into 2 first strikers? That's just death. Like, at some point we may need to attack with it to get damage through, but not yet. Let's eat some food. There's more food. We kind of need it, so... Still not at sacrifice Witchstalker to get 5 damage through. Yeah, well, I'm not forgetting the cookies are food, but they need to be our attackers for right now. Like to find our out muscle. Make the Witchstalker big enough. Like, if we had out muscle, we could fight the tactician and then have a 5/5 that can attack into these youthful knights. So that's kind of our dream draw right now, is the out muscle. Woof. Are we just dead? We're at virtual 8. No, we're close. But actually, this gives us a window to do something. Looks like this one is out of reach. Certainly not going to get there with a forest. So we could eat up to 7, but we take 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we attack with Witch Stalker and eat some food. Yeah, we have 2 fells to bring in. I don't think we have an out here, but we're gonna do what we gotta do to not die. Fell is an instant, yes. So we can do some skeet shooting with Guide Mother. Pull! Youthful Night down. And that's all she wrote this time. Not going to show him anything more. We're just going to move on. I don't think they're missing a second color. I think they are a good, solid mono white. I mean, they could. Like, we're splashing for literally 2 black cards with 4 swamps, so I'm sure could have games where we come off as a mono green deck when we actually have a black splash. So they could have a splash, but less likely for mono white. I think mono white is really supported by dedicating itself to the cause and just being straight white. Anyway, we're going to bring in 2 fell. We're going to drop this Return to Nature, which didn't see any good targets. And I think 1 Ginger Brute is where I like this. We could bring in Gargoyle as Desperation Flyer defense. It's not great. And I also don't like Memory Theft. No, not. I mean, I know we can try and get their Guide Mother or whatever, but against aggro, I don't like hand disruption because they dump their hand and then you draw this and you're like, well, this is not great. We could do Tall. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in Tall. I don't think I want the Witch. But we could bring in a Tall, maybe even for the other Ginger Brute. Although, again, I like putting Tall on the Brute in some spots. So if we did it this way, want to cut maybe even like a Carver. Going down a little low on creatures. But I think I like trying this. I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah, exactly. If they Tall and we trap... So, Robert, it's a high-risk, high-gain play that is generally why I don't like to play Auras, but in this case, I think it's worth it because of our weakness to their flying game. Pretty ugly as a place to start, honestly, but I can't quite bring myself to mold this, so we're going to keep it. This is going to be a rough one, though, I think. Maybe I should have molded this. A little greedy. That's nice. If we can luck out with 1 more forest off the top, then it looks great. But... Not exactly what we wanted. I'm not going to do nothing here, though. I'm going to go ahead and Hengewalker for a weak creature. See what they want to do. Pathlighter. Combat trick or just transform. I think I'm going to transform here. We draw a card, so maybe we find the land we're looking for. But I think we do it like this. In case we find a swamp, we can still play the Carver trick. All right, did find our forest. Do have a trick. And again, I'm going to say no attacks. Let's see if they even attack into the walker, and then we can think about what that means. All right, no attack into the walker. Good to know. Owl. Well, let's see if they find something here. This could be a big deal if they find something with the owl. Okay, they missed on owl. That's good. All right, now we get Yorvo plus combat trick. So let's send in the walker. Argument for... Yeah, I'm actually going to use a combat trick here. Because we're just going to Yorvo, and we have then Paladin. So we're a couple turns away from actually being able to do anything here. Just using up my mana because I feel like we're in a race. Got some extra damage, and we get a green creature to cast to buff Yorvo. If we draw a land, we can decide between Paladin or Carver plus Appetite mana. Don't. That's rough. That might be just game right there. But again, in a race situation, I can't really play around that. We just gotta, like, go and hope we got there. Now we need to find some of our flying defense, or we're just completely doomed. I feel like we sideboarded well against this. You know, we brought in everything we could against a known flying attack. We just didn't find our side stuff. And now... no reason to keep Appetite up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're basically just dead. I think they probably have a Guide Mother. They launched Youthful Night, and then we're just totally Dobbs. Yeah, this is when I entered, when we started out here, I said, like, the trouble with a deck like ours is either we're attacking or we're losing. The moment that we're not successfully attacking or winning a race, you're just way behind. That being said, I guess I'll do this. I really don't know what we can draw here that would change anything, but we'll throw it out there. Probably needed to attack there to have any chance, but we're just waiting to lose here. Try to get him, give up our foul to give, and try to win a fourth one after the next match. I guess we'll do this. Like, what could we possibly draw? We need to do too many things. I guess we need Fell the Pheasant, and then even then that's not, even Fell the Pheasant wouldn't be enough. And if that's not enough, nothing is. Huh. Surprised they didn't just go for the win. Like, what do you think we're doing exactly? I mean, effectively you win anyway, but I don't know why you don't just buff a flyer and actually just win the game. Fancy play syndrome indeed. I think they... We cut return. I mean, I don't know if you're saying we had an out or whether you're saying we shouldn't have cut it, but we didn't have it in the deck there. All right. Well, we're in the back against the wall match now. If we lose again, we're done. We already have profit, but if we can get one more win notched in the belt here, it's significant profit, so we'd like to do that. Plus, you know, winning. All right, we'll keep this, and need a little action. We don't really have much going on in the middle turns, but I can't mulligan this. This is a clear keep to me. I think I would have put this deck at like a par 2.5, so I think we've cleared par. We got one person who scooped after game 1 in the middle of sideboarding, so it went by really quickly, and maybe that one slipped by you. Well, Tracker, you're late, but we'll do it. Weird to see forests and this gargoyle, and weird to see this forest and this forest. I don't know what the partial forest is about. Really glad we found one, though. We could Scaldrin, but I think I'll try a Carver trick here. You could also just return it to nature. Maybe I'm just supposed to return it to nature. Now I'm debating. Obviously, if Return to Nature was the plan, I should have done it before blocks. But part of why I wanted to Carver is to use the Shield's Might for some value and then get the creature ready. I'm going to go ahead and do the Carver plan because of that. I want to get value out of the trick and then have the ability to... Oh, if they want to use, like... Okay, the Carver on Carver to bounce off is fine also. Really wanted the forest for this smasher. Didn't get there. And we could threaten the Cauldron with an... but they can just block with the other one, so I don't like that now. I'm just gonna develop the board with the Rider. Yeah, we could Cauldron the Rosethorn, but I don't know. I don't think the Rosethorn is that important of a creature, really. Maybe Tracker. Probably have to Tracker something of our own here so that we can draw a card. Or sorry, I think I'm going to transform the Tracker so that we can draw a card and then hopefully get to our Smasher soon. All right, there we go. Now we have Return to Nature even. But I'm going to offer both of these. We have Once in Future as well. That's not the worst. Oko memes? That's funny. Of all the memes I have, Oko is not one of them. Now there is something we may want to Return to Nature. And yeah, they're going to get a double activation here. That really stinks, but nothing much to do but take this out before it gets even worse for us. One, two, three, four, five, and then 6, 7 means they do have Beanstalk coming. Might need to get Carver back. Ah, Epic Downfall, old friend. Thank you. We're going to need that. Don't have the black yet, but that should come in handy when we find it. And in the meantime, they can take Broom for Rider if they want, and we'll keep swinging. What's in our deck? Yeah, we have an Epic Downfall somewhere in... I mean, what? It's right here. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. We can now... Wow, we really want to find that black mana. That's a silly question, D. Come on.
You ever listen to the crickets? You're not scared of dogs, are you?
I'm not scared of dogs. I'm scared of you, Garrick. I don't think we... Now I'm just like, oh yeah, and people don't beat Garrick, and that's all there is to it. But let's charge in at him. Answer the question yourself then, D. Do you think this stream has reached its full potential? Do you think we're done? That's why it's silly. I think because you know the answer. That's why. Everybody knows the answer. Of course we're not done. Of course we're not peak going optimal here. Come on. Yep, I can't do any better than this viewer count and this level of... Yeah, I'm done. I've peaked. All right, so let's Cauldron one of the wolves, I guess. God, this is brutal. Has to enchant creature. This is weird. I've never this. Whoa, whoa, whoa! All right, we'll take out one of these. We can't really beat Garrick. I mean, what am I doing? Like, I'm just kind of playing till we're done.
We are relentless.
Yeah, I don't know how we get there from here. Especially a little bit stuck on land. Like, maybe if we could play 2 cards in a turn. I'm gonna move on, though. We just can't beat that. I don't see any change, really. Yeah, maybe we tried the Desperation anti-Garrick, but I tend to, rather than play something that... The trouble with bringing in Memory Theft and bringing in reactionary stuff to try and deal with a bomb is that then if they don't have the bomb and you draw this and you don't have your lands, then you've stumbled on developing your board. Like, our deck is going to win by curving out and pressure, pressure, pressure. So I don't think I want to bring this in, even though we have this bomb that we're worried about. I would rather just execute our game plan and hope that going first and applying a lot of pressure is enough to do what we need to do here. We did see some targets for the return to nature. Yeah, I'm just going to send it back. Yeah, they have adventures, but again, I just don't want to be reactionary with this deck. I want to apply pressure. Ugh. All right, obviously keeping this, even though we are, again, missing black. I think... probably need... yeah, it's got to be one of the two black cards. And I guess we'll get rid of the... no, you want to send back once in future. My assumption is that we should assume we're not going to be casting these anytime soon. If we draw some stuff to cast, we're going to want the once in future to get stuff back. I know it doesn't seem like the most useful thing here, but I actually think we have to get rid of one of these. And I'm going to call for the downfall. I've enjoyed this format. The bots were pretty rough early. But it's come around a bit. Found our swamp so we can actually get a Savvy Hunter down. That's nice. But now, hopefully they don't have the giant. Don't you go doubling your land. Come on. Uh-oh. Mini Dark Ritual here. Let's play Magic, D. Get off the meta. I accept some of your meta stuff, but you push the meta stuff too much sometimes. Let it go and let's play Magic. Maybe I should have just done Shield's Might. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna save it. Don't like this spot. This clover's making me super nervous. Hey, Farmer Babe. What's up? All right, if they're only making a curious pair, that's pretty good for us. All right, now we get Carver. We get to play the Shield's Might for just some extra damage if we want. But I'm going to go ahead and eat first before we do anything. All right. Does that change what we want to do here? Because we can smash. I guess we'll see if they want to double block. It's still worth it. Because we can... I'll take the... Now what do they want? Oh, they're carvering now. Oh no. Double carver. Alright, well I guess Savvy Hunter is dead. Unless they do a one, you know, if they block only one of them. Oh, they did. Alright. We'll take that. Thank you, Oppo. Punish them a little bit for that.
You're not scared of dogs, are you?
All right. I'm not scared of dogs. I'm scared of you. But we can do a pretty good number on Garrick here. We're going to outmuscle and crash in. All right, well, we're kind of sort of controlling Garrick, sort of, kind of. Garrick just gets to make 2 new wolves next turn. Like, how do you beat this card? I don't know how you beat this card. Appetite is in the deck, yes. I think let's eat here in case we find something we want to cast. Not quite ready to scoop. Yeah, Paladin would be nice. The wolves can't stop the Paladin. Good Time Zone East, welcome.
You're not scared of dogs, are you?
So rough. Let's see, we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got us, Oppo. I don't think we're winning this one. I mean, we had maybe a chance before that play. Here's the Paladin we wanted, but now they're too big. Have anything else we can do? Nothing else even... We can't even do 2 things elsewhere, so fine. I think we pass, but I don't think you can win if you pass a turn against Garrick. Either you're pressuring Garrick every turn or you're losing.
You're not scared of dogs, are you?
Now, this is an instant, and we do have an out muscle. We now have 8, so we could get that back. Out muscle. It still just leaves us so doomed, though. But then, nah, that doesn't work either. Then they have two more, like, attack and trade. I don't think that does it either. I mean, Dynamo, I appreciate your trying to find a line here, but I don't think that line does it either. I think we're just in a super rough spot. I mean, we could play a Smasher. I guess we have to do that part at least. Epic Downfall does not hit Planeswalkers. Can I submit 0? Is that what I do? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Garrick's too strong. I'm kind of just waiting to die here, but we'll do something. Maybe you should have used Hunter as the source of the outmuscle, you mean? I don't know what you mean, East. I liked getting the Paladin bigger, I guess, but... I was thinking of having the Paladin bigger in the long run. That was my idea. But again, it doesn't matter. One loses to Garrick. Clever flavor. All right, can we be done now? Let's be done now. All right, well, we got to 3. Then suffered a couple quick losses. I don't hate how we drafted or played, though. I think we kind of overperformed with what looked like a pretty mediocre, middling mono-green deck. So, pretty happy with the 3 wins, actually, in this one. And we get to crack 10. Oh, I thought I had Okos on this account already. I guess I'm the one that needs to make sure I have my Okos crafted. Just take that. I'm going to make sure we have our Oko crafted, and then I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube. All right, still need one more Oko. I'm going to go ahead and craft the 4th Oko so I don't forget. If I could just wait until ahead of the ban, I would, but I don't want to forget. So I'm going to craft my Okos on the presumption of a ban. Yeah, we get the reason I did that is if Oko is banned as expected, we'll get 4 mythic wild cards. So might as well use a wild card, get Oko, and then get the wild card back. All right, I'm not done playing for the day, but I am done drafting for the day. Let's go to Soapbox and say goodbye to YouTube. Thanks for hanging out, YouTube friends. We'll catch you tomorrow.